Hey y'all, Dekumon here, and welcome back to the Final Fantasy XIV class and job quests. Last time, well, we thought we dealt with Tristan. Unfortunately, we didn't deal with the person behind Tristan, which was that Ascian Paragon. That was fun. What was also fun was us learning Shredworm Trance. That was by far one of the most unique ways to learn a skill I've seen in this game, and I really wish it would do that more often. That was legitimately cool. Yamitra, my girl, we're gonna be doing the Stormblood and the Lone Shadowbringers quest today. Also, one minor announcement. Scholar is going to have to wait until after 7.3. After looking over, because this is probably going to come out while I'm on vacation, main scenario quests take precedence over job and class quests. Full stop, plain and simple. So Scholar, if you're waiting for Scholar, you will have to wait till till I'm completed the 7.3 main story and the new Alliance raid, which usually doesn't take that long. It's like 3 or 4 videos and then 1 or 2 for the Alliance raid. That won't take long, and then we'll get right back into Scholar. But Yamitra, what's our next summer request, madame? A book with bite? Oh dear.
Dekumon, I've had the most fascinating news. It would seem that the ruins of ancient Alag have yielded to us a tome containing unknown secrets of the summoner's art. The tome in question is currently being kept under Rambaros's watchful gaze at our dig site in Morderna. I'll be heading there shortly myself, but I would not begrudge you an earlier peek.
Ooh. New summoner skills? Sounds awesome. Oh, Rambaros, my good man. What's this about a book I hear?
I thought you might be along. Here, Dekumon, a prize such as this should be in your keeping.
Ooh. Why, thank you, good sir.
We uncovered it not terribly far from where we excavated the Evoker's attire. I've judged the tome to be some manner of manual for summoning magic, but alas, I was unable to decipher the writings. It is fortunate then that such a task falls directly within Amitra's field of expertise.
I know, I changed his voice again, I'm sorry.
Speaking of which, would you mind taking the book to her yourself? She sent word that she had been held up by some dreary business in Revenant's Toll. Pray do be careful.
Dreary business? What's going on there? Mitra, what's going on here?
My apologies. A trifling but unavoidable matter prevented me from making directly for the dig site. Now, shall we take a closer look at this elegant tome?
Here it is. Maybe you can read the damn thing. Any luck?
Oh my. It is rather more shabby than what I've come to expect from the great works of Alag. But let's not be discouraged. The content is what truly matters.
A fine observation? Who said that? What in the fuck? It's the Monster Book of Monsters. You need a voice, sir. Principal, at your service!
I am a humbly familiar with the doctrine of summoning. Have we awoken a sentient tome from some ancient library? Dekumon, we must keep it contained. Oh, have I somehow given offense? Strange, for I am not equipped with offensive capabilities. Imparting the art of summoning is my function, and instructional manual is my form. Manual, you say?
Just like that, the fight music's over.
Correct! When opened in the presence of summoners, I am bound to awaken and share with them the secrets of summoning. The young master there in possession of an active soul crystal, yes?
Yep.
It was the soul crystal that awoke you. Correct! Only one who carries a soul crystal and is bathed in the ether of an icon may wield the powers of a summoner. I sensed one worthy of instruction and was thus compelled to introduce myself. Icon? Oh, that's the Alegan word for primal. The same word the Garleans use. Excuse my need to clarify the obvious, but you are a construct created to teach summoning magic to any potential student that you encounter? Why would the ancients have deemed such a thing necessary? A summoning came into being for the purpose of eliminating beings, specifically those beings known as icons, primals. Once these entities have all been vanquished, however, new Egi cannot be harnessed. Old summoners perish, and so too do their art. It was upon glimpsing this bleak future that a certain master summoner set about crafting yours truly. Inscribed with arts of tremendous power, I exist to teach others how to safeguard their existence. Fascinating. Your creation speaks to the very heart of the discipline's rarity. Summoning harnesses the power of primals for the sole purpose of destroying them, and new summoners arise only in an age when primals are rife. With the absence of living mentors, a true succession of the art is never achieved. Principal, are you then to instruct Dekumon in the lost secrets of Alec? I am eager to oblige, but there are certain obligations to be met first. Ere the seal upon my higher knowledge can be unlocked, the student must first overcome the 3 challenges I am ensorcelled to present. Well, considering how it refers to primals as icons, I'm inclined to believe that we have an authentic elegant relic on our hands. What say you, Dekumon? Will you undertake these challenges?
Not like I got anything better to do. I mean, that's the whole reason I'm here, right? To learn summoner stuff?
The first challenge is a test of power. This trial is designed to evaluate the raw magnitude of your arcane talent by pitting you against a predetermined opponent of carefully measured fortitude. Also known as, I manifest a monster, and you beat the shit out of it.
Alright.
Mayhap not so terribly wise to attempt this in the middle of town, though. Why don't we find ourselves a less populated area out near the Singing Shards?
That'd be a good idea. Alright, I got my carbuncle out. Let's get this show on the road.
Shall we begin the test of power, Master? Master? You treat your pupil as a superior principal? Oh, such was the way in which I was written. And if my full name begins to tire your tongue, you're welcome to call me Prin, or Pia. Oh, I rather like Prin. Let us proceed with the challenge.
I was still waiting for his name to suddenly change and hello! And goodbye! Problem solved.
Oh, a crushing victory, Dekumon! Who could argue the potential of modern summoning after that display? You have bested the first challenge, Master. There are few summoners in Alec's long history who boasted this degree of native might. Furthermore, that you have achieved such potency through naught but the study of ancient wisdom is simply astonishing. With a little polish to your technique, guiding you to loftier heights of power should be astonishingly simple. I thought Dekumon's technique more than sufficiently polished, but you say there is room for improvement? I see we shall have to adjust our yolmstick for perfection if we are to rival the practitioners of the past. Indeed. If you would know more of past practices, then you need only ask. Actually, I do have a question for you. If you would indulge me, Dekumon.
Okay. Yeah, that was was that a nod? I'm gonna call that a nod.
Prin, in which age were you created? You appear to lack the technological advancements that were predominant in constructs of the later days of Alec's civilization. Another excellent observation. I was penned by Master Sari, a preeminent summoner of his time. He was, in fact, likely the last Master Summoner of the Garlean Empire's reign. Were I to date myself by your culture's notion of history, my creation would have taken place at a point just before the Empire's collapse. In other words, solidly within the richest era of aetherochemical discovery. One might reasonably wonder why this wonderful science was excluded from my invention, and I assure you there is a reason. But I'm not going to tell you right now. In the beginning, the Allegans rose to superiority through their mastery of magecraft. It is told that the very first wielders of summoning magic made do with grimoires, fashioned of leather and ink and parchment. There came a tipping point, however, where the mundane scientists began to progress with ever-growing rapidity. These advances were married with the arcane, and aetherochemical technology was born. Even as the harnessing of lightning energies gave rise to new recording mediums, techniques were developed that allowed complex arcane geometries to be instantly plotted. Traditional grimoires were replaced by devastatingly efficient and elegant weapons. The convenience of these tools, however, did not lend themselves well to the instruction of initiates. Beyond such considerations, the new mediums could not be perused without dedicated machinery, and their manufacture was no simple matter. And so the summoner who breathed life in you decided that tomestones and the like were not the ideal method for passing on his accumulated wisdom. Correct! He chose for me the primitive form of a book, and inscribed within my pages a bounty of potent incantations that required no machine to be cast. Thank you, Prin. I thought only to satisfy my academic curiosity, but I find myself swept up in your description of the past. You truly are the creation of an incredible age. Thank you for your patience, Dekumon. Shall we return to Gradonia?
Sure? I was expecting a nod there. Oh, Dancing Wolf's here. Cool.
Well done, Dekumon. We are one step closer to revealing a new secret of ancient Alag. Prin will issue the next challenge after you've had a chance to review your studies and hone your abilities to a new level of perfection. I've decided to keep the familiar here at my side for the moment. Even with as many wonders as the Eorzea holds, folks tend to panic at the sight of a fanged book that jumps around of its own accord.
Yeah, you can ask Hagrid about that one.
Oh, and pay no mind to Captain Wolf. He obviously wishes to secure my services for some task or another, but we have more important matters to attend to.
He's just like, what am I, drop liver? Next summoner quest is available at 63. And he was just gonna stand here the whole damn time. Performing for Prin.
Oh, greetings, Dekumon. It would seem that Prin would speak with us about the second challenge. Congratulations, Master. You are sufficiently prepared to undertake the next test. Excuse me, Prin, but how can you tell? By analyzing the pattern of Master's etherical emanations, I can gauge the strength and precision of his recently cast incantations. Of course, Master must attempt the challenge itself before I can provide an evaluation to the proper degree of accuracy. This will be a test of skill. To administer this trial under the prescribed conditions, however, I must request the assistance of several more summoners to play the role of antagonists. Several more summoners? In this day and age, this will be no easy feat to arrange.
Come now, Yamitra. The solution is right under your nose. Dekumon, your deeds have caught your attention at the highest echelons of the Flames. After learning what you're capable of, we've begun an initiative to take our very own summoners into battle against the primals. A number of soldiers under my command have already begun intensive training. I handpicked veteran survivors for our expedition against Ifrit, and they've been issued with soul crystals that we claimed from the Asians.
Aye, and Captain Wolf has been humming in my ears for days, begging to enlist your aid as some kind of drill instructor for the etherically gifted.
But now you're in need of summoners for this trial of yours, yes? I'm prepared to offer my regiment's full cooperation. All I ask in return is a few morsels of advice for the acolytes.
It seems to me that it is a fair trade, and my enchantments do not restrict me from instructing neophyte summoners in the fundamentals of the art. Ah, very well. I suppose such an arrangement could prove convenient for us all.
See? That wasn't difficult.
Ha! I knew you'd come around. Meet me at Camp Bluefog and I'll assemble the troops for inspection.
Better bring some bandages, because this is gonna hurt. I see we have some interesting looking recruits here to play with.
Looks like we're all here. Let's get on with the briefing, shall we?
As you command. This second challenge will evaluate the elegance of your technique as opposed to the magnitude of your miasma. First, I shall infuse the Egi of your opponents with secondary enchantments, and then you are to engage the entities in combat. Prin explained to me that the enchantments store the ether expended during the battle, and allow for an in-depth analysis of your flair for death flares, as it were. In any case, I expect you'll pass with flying colors.
So do I.
Right. I suppose you should know who you're up against. Designation and rank, all of you.
Summoner Crispin, Private First Class. We're grateful for aught you can teach us, sir. Summoner Densray, Sergeant. I'm new to spellcasting, but I've seen my share of combat, sir. Crispin and I are to fight you as a pair.
Summoner Chachamasu, Lieutenant. You have more than a few admirers in the barracks, Dekumon, sir. But that don't mean we'll go easy on ya.
Dude, you gotta lay off the cigars.
I know. Enough chatter. Quick march to the training ground, all of you! Give the word to Crispin and Denise when you're ready for battle there, Egi, Dekumon. After that, you'll be facing off against the Lieutenant's beast. You won't be attacking my troops directly, so give it all you've got.
That's probably a good thing. I don't want to send anybody over to the friggin' infirmary. No duty calls, huh? Just the good old purple smoke.
Prepare yourself, sir. Denise and I will now summon our servants to battle. Aye, a pair of Ifrit Egi just for you.
And they're gone. Alright, that was easy enough.
You finished warming up on them members then? Cause even together, me mates Eggies don't hold a candle to the inferno I can summon. Right, let's bring the flames.
Oh, that's a big inn. Unfortunately for you, mine's bigger. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to push this button. Holy, how did he survive that? Wow, all right, here, have a smack in the nuts. All right. He's still smoking. There we go.
Oh, I had hopes for that one, but you snuffed him out right quick. Ugh, not much of a trial, eh? Well then, you're lucky I fought another primal during my time with a couple of your heroes. Oi, you're not the only summoner that can command more than one ethereal beastie. Say hello to your final opponent, the Titan Egi.
Oh, you have a Titan Eggy too. That's adorable. Here, smack. Wow, he actually survived that. You're not surviving a Ruin 4 though, sir. Alright, are we done now? Hello? Oh, we had to wait for everybody to walk over. I see. I hope my summoners put up enough of a fight for you. Anyway, shall we hear what the book has to say?
I have ruminated upon the swirls and echoes of your battle, and the picture is clear. Your technique is, without a doubt, a thing of exquisite beauty. Consider the second challenge conquered.
Well, that's good news, if hardly surprising. After all, you did sweep through those Egi like a storm through a field of dandelions. But thanks, you've opened me eyes. I see you have some work to do after I truly mastered this here discipline.
Oh, I'm glad to know that we've been of service. Now we really must be returning to Guidonia.
Alright. Dismissed. Really?
Oh, thank you, sir. This was truly an enriching experience. Why, pray train with us again in the future.
Oh, those voices are gonna come back to haunt me when they show up later, isn't it? Okay, Yamitra, all set?
Congratulations, Dekumon. With your impressive demonstration of power and skill, you've already conquered 2 of Prin's 3 challenges. Ere we come to the final trial, however, Prin would further our education on Adakin summoning.
Alright.
First, I would ask what you know of the rise and fall of summoning in the Garlean Empire. I was made to cover rather a lot of history, you understand? From our research, we've learned that summoners were initially lauded as heroes for their success against the primals. When certain of these mages began to abuse the art's power for personal gain, however, the adoration of the populace shifted towards an oppressive hatred. Sorry. Correct! We speak now of the latter half of the Third Astral Era. My creator, Master Sari, was one of those who expended his energies on the destruction of primals, even as he fled from relentless persecution. Alongside his disciples, he triumphed over Belias and many other lesser entities.
I think I fought that one at some point.
Belias? Oh, that was the name of the elder primal from whom Tristan once drew power. Master Sari must have been mighty indeed to defeat such a foe.
Oh, okay, that's what the name was.
Yet still he knew fear. The thought that the grand discipline of summoning would fade into oblivion was more than Master Sari could bear, and so he sought to preserve its legacy and provide for its successors. My creator was well versed in etherochemistry and held a particular interest in the technology of information. Broadly speaking, he researched methods for producing arcane geometries without grimoires and experimented with machine-enhanced Egi. He eventually abandoned both of these technologies, deeming them unsuitable for the instruction of future generations. Hoping to provide guidance for those summoners yet unborn, he instead began writing and enchanting a work that would survive down the ages. In short, he made me. Such an accomplished personage. Why then have I seen but scant mention of his name in Alex's histories? Oh, as you have said yourself, it was an age when the adulation of summoners experienced an extreme reversal. It is likely that Master Sari's achievements were struck from the records, even as his loyal pupils were struck down in the streets. I was shut in a storeroom, abandoned to my slumber like some common trustees on trade agreements in the southern provinces, and thus I can tell you naught of what befell my creator in his later years.
That sucks.
I expected a dry recital in the history of summoning, but you've shared with us your personal narrative. It is clear you hold a great deal of respect for Master Sari. Well, I am a familiar after all. I simply relay information as I was expelled. This lecture is now over. As you wish, Prin. Well, Dekumon, 'Twould seem class is dismissed for the moment. I suggest you recuperate for this day's trial and look forward to preparing yourself for the final challenge.
So early? I have like 3 more quests to do though. Alright, what do we got? An Egi-stential Crisis. Oh dear. I think my final trial is on hold. Straight into cutscene too.
The time has come, Dekumon. Prin is ready to administer the final trial. Yes, your 3rd challenge is at hand, Master. I shall be glad to at last share the wisdom that has long lain dormant within my pages. Thus far we've had evaluations of raw power and refinement of skill. What then will this 3rd challenge seek to test? Well, that I cannot tell you. Cannot or will not? I do not keep this detail from you for the sake of my own amusement. It must be secret. Were you aware the test's purpose such knowledge would unfairly affect its outcome?
Okay.
What I will tell you, however, is that this trial requires conditions that are akin to an actual battlefield. As such, I must ask that you call fellow summoners to your side once again, and arrange a location where you might join hands against a most realistic primal threat. Well, this ought to be welcome news for Captain Wolf. I shall see if his acolytes are available again.
See what I mean about those voices coming back to bite me?
Greetings, this is Kimitra. Of the Sons of St. Cork? I have a favor to ask.
Must have gotten the secretary.
Well, Captain Wolf was more than eager to accept our request. He even offered to arrange exclusive use of a section of Seal Rock. It seems there will be an airship waiting in Uldar to fly us to the island. Shall we rendezvous at the landing once you're prepared then?
We shall. Seal Rock? That's another PvP battleground.
This will be the final and most grueling challenge. Pray ready yourself, Master, that you are not reduced to so much gruel.
That's an option? Oh dear. I'll be honest, I was half expecting a duty calls again.
I don't know about you, Dekumon, but my nerves are beginning to get the best of me. Captain Wolf and the others have already landed on Seal Rock, so let us not delay the challenge any further. Wait, something's calling to delay the challenge. Who could that be? Oh, someone at Jasamazu, how might I? But, by whom? Wait, Lieutenant, can you hear me? Oh, blast! The call was cut off. Dekumon, our mortal colleagues are under attack.
Oh dear.
The situation sounds dire indeed. All the summoners are crippled by injuries, and Captain Wolf alone fights to keep the foe at bay. Our planned battle has become rather more real than we anticipated. We'd best explain matters to the pilot and arrange a rescue party.
Oh. This is the test, isn't it? Sneaky little bastard book. Ambushed, you say? Understood. I'll put in a call for reinforcements, but my ship is ready to depart now if you are. Shall we go in ahead? Let's go, let's go. If this is real, then I gotta deal with it. It's part of the test. Well, I'll kill you, Mitra, afterwards. Rescue the summoners. Kurt? What things? What things? Oh, those things. The heck? Those look like Sephiroth's minions. That is a legit problem. Sephiroth being yeah, see? They're Sephiroth minions. I thought they were. Can I get a big old group of you assholes together? Get Rune 4, well I got half a chance. And we'll just start working our way down the line. Whew, tanky son of a bitch. Incoming. Waiting command. Oh no, this is... There's something going on here. Gotta love the good old death flare. Too bad you only get one. Why are there Sephiroth Eggies? I think my initial theory of this being the book's fault is starting to fall apart here. Although, I don't know. There's still a good chance, especially considering. Remember, Allian had control over the Warring Triad, so there is every likelihood that this actually is them. Especially considering these things are acting very robotic and saying, like, awaiting commands. To me, that just screams like there's a problem going on here. There's more of the little bastards. Defeat the unknown summoner. Who the heck are you? And why are you about to die? Well, he's tanky. I think I actually have to go after the Eggies. Yeah, I think the Eggies need to actually go first. Oh, that's... I fucking missed the Conviction Tower. Yep, that's gonna smart. You get a good look at this guy? I have no idea. Artificial trance? Oh no, you don't. Not again. You only get one of those, sir, and one was quite enough. Hello. Mini Titanias. I smoked that one. There we go. Got them all. This guy's still like half dead. What's going on? So far, he's not throwing anything out that I can't handle at this point. The dots are irritating, but... Hello. There's an actual Twintania! Yeah, no, this is definitely the test. Oh shit, I didn't see the Conviction Tower! Woo! That was unpleasantly close. Ah, we're off the worst time. Sorry, we've almost got him. This location was not ideal, huh? There we go, smoked him. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. Was this part of the test or not? Anomalous potential confirmed. Commencing scan. Hi. Latent aetherical capacity. Immeasurable. Standard parameters exceeded. Reinitializing system. Okay, so not part of the test, I imagine. What? He wants to go another round? No, this was the test.
Master Sari, how have you come to be here?
Never mind.
Master, surely you don't mean that sorry?
Ah, Principal, they have woken you. This should suffice.
Oh dear. Ah! What did you do to Prin?
The construct is unharmed. I simply added another layer of security. Do not disappoint me, Summoner. I will be waiting.
Alright, well, disappointingly, this was not part of the test. I kind of hoped it was, but then I wouldn't have anything to do for the last 2 quests, I suppose.
Oh, how odd. The way he vanished was almost as if...
That he was the one being summoned? Yeah.
False teeth! What was that about?
Pah! We'll discuss this back in Ul'dah after we've seen to the wounded. Well, that suddenly turned out interesting.
You arrived in the nick of time, Dekumon. Thanks to you, my soldiers survived that ambush, and they'll be fit for duty again after a bit of rest.
Ah, you have our gratitude. If you hadn't plunged into the fray like that, we almost certainly would have perished.
You said that bastard was Master Sori, didn't ya? A summoner of ancient Allag. Did the Major have some way of coming back to life? Alright, Lieutenant, let's not jump to conclusions here.
Well, he was wielding summoning magics, unlike all we've ever seen before. Maybe Prin has some idea. I'll be sure to ask. Come, Dekumon, let us return to Gadonia.
Yeah, but considering the extra layer of security that just got added, I don't think he's going to be talking much.
Well, what was meant to be Dekumon's final trial was certainly testing, to say the least. Tell me, Prin, what makes you so sure that that was Master Sari? Based upon the evidence at hand, there can be no doubt. The vocal and etherical signatures were identical to those exhibited by my creator. The only aspect that gives me pause is his behavior. Master Sari was never one to offer harm to others with such callous indifference. I would say there was a larger inconsistency to consider here, Prin. Your creator supposedly died several thousand years ago. Oh, there is one other possibility. The greatest minds of Allag unlocked a science known as cloning, by which they could artificially create a replicant of a living being. A seal rock is, after all, a construction of the Garlean Empire. Assuming the individual you battled was indeed a clone of Master Sari, then my senses would recognize no appreciable difference. An exact copy of the original person. 'Twould explain much, but the very thought of it is horrifying. Oh, and did you not tamper with your enchantments? Are you truly unharmed? My faculties are undimmed, but the wisdom I was to impart to Master has been sealed behind an arcane lock. I can do nothing. Only my creator holds the key. Then your secrets are lost to us. You're useless. If only Dekumon had to be able to attempt that third challenge. Attempt? Master has already passed it. Allow me to explain. The third challenge is a test of the summoner's nature. Thus does the trial require the presence of companions and a realistic threat. Master Sari's ambush did of course bring an unexpected dimension to the proceedings. Yet Master leapt to the aid of his fellow summoners without hesitation, and braved considerable danger to see that they were safely rescued. Selfless acts that more than qualify Master as a worthy successor.
Ah, that's why they couldn't tell us about the third test, and how it would skew results.
I had wondered why power and skill were not sufficient. Sari wished to see his teachings passed on to summoners of noble heart. Correct. He could not countenance the idea that such knowledge might be put to evil ends. Now you understand why his display of violence so confused me. Aye, and all the more reason to suspect an impostor. Whatever this man's identity may be, we will track him down and make him remove that seal. Your purpose is too important. And I will assist you in any way that I can. The Master Sari that made me would not stand to see his memory profaned with such wickedness. Well said, Prin. For an enchanted sack of ink and parchment, you have an impressively developed moral compass. I possess neither morals nor a compass. I merely followed my inspilled directions to guide worthy summoners. If I give the impression of such characteristics, then mayhap I am overstepping my bounds as a familiar. No, you're fine. Forget I mentioned it. I will see if I can unearth more detailed records of Master Sari. Mayhap the story of his later life will aid us in unraveling this present mystery.
Possibly. I mean, it couldn't hurt. Alright, next up. Off the record.
I had searched through the usual histories, but found scant mention of Sari. Just as Prin had said, records of his existence have all but been expunged. And since my own knowledge is limited to the day that I was stored away, we must rely on those lost Alekan records that escaped the Purge. My colleague Ramboros may be able to help us there. Hardly a day goes past when his team does not lift some forgotten treasure from the ruins in Moldona. Shall we pay him a visit?
Oh, we shall. Alright, back to Ramboros. Alright, Ramboros, you got anything we can do with this book?
Demetra has informed me of your search. I shall be certain to contact you should our discoveries include any mention of this. Sorry. There may be, however, a swifter way to acquire the information that you seek. I know of a certain merchant who collects undeciphered tombstones with even greater zeal than the sons of St. Koank.
Ah, crap, it's Rowena, isn't it?
Oh, you speak of Rowena.
Aye. We have formed something of a symbiotic relationship with the consortium. In return for financing our excavations, we provide Rowena with a selection of our finds. I'm sure you would find her amenable to a request for assistance. After all, you would merely need to borrow her tombstones for a time, yes? Here, I penned a letter with my personal reassurances that her stock will be returned, none the worse for wear. You'll probably only have to pay 1 or 2 limbs in order to get access to it.
Alright, and there was a nod hiding behind the anima there, I saw it. Hello, Rowena. It's been a while since we've actually had to talk to you directly.
Aye, and what can I do for you?
Can borrow a tombstone or 3,000?
So you're the backing of old Ramboros, eh? Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to lend you some of my tombstones. In fact, I'll do you one better. I'll let you borrow the transcripts. Courtesy of the scribes at the Ironworks, of course. As books, they're a damn sight heavier, but you don't need fancy machines when it's all penned down in ink and parchment. Give me a summary of the contents when you're finished, and I'll consider that as payment. Collectors will part with more coin if they know what they're getting, and my time's too precious to waste on reading ancient history. Consider it a deal, Rowena, and thank you. Now, come on, shall we get to work?
It's gonna be a lot of reading, yep, and another nod. Definitely making up for all the ones we didn't see in the Realm Reborn quests. There's just a pile of books here waiting for us.
Oh, fancy that. I've barely begun skimming the very first volume, and there are already some promising passages. Let us make Prin and share our findings already, shall we?
Okay. Hey, Ramboros.
Ah, Ramboros, have you come to check on our progress? Oh, this charming tone is Principal, a sentient familiar of ancient Aleg. A pleasure to meet you, Master Ramboros. Pray call me Prin, if you prefer.
Thank you, Prin. And might I say what a privilege it is to meet such a rare and clever construct.
Oh, clever. Well, yes, apparently Prin was written that way. In fact, we were just hoping to hear an opinion on a new snippet of information that I've uncovered. 'Twas an order listed in a record of Imperial military communications, commanding that the fruits of the Master Summoner's research be seized. It appears that the army had more than a passing interest in Sari's experiments.
And what exactly was the purpose of this research?
Master Sari toiled to wed summoning magics with aetherochemical technology. For example, he experimented with replacing grimoires with mechanical mediums, and sought to manifest Egi of greater authenticity by utilizing high-speed computations.
Simply put, he turned to machines to enhance traditional summoning methods. Is that the gist of it?
Correct! But Master Sari was never one to abuse the success of his experiments, no matter how they magnified his power. He would not place his trust in machines. Their inherent complex nature was too prone to error, he said. The dates on these communications indicated time at the later half of Sari's life. Is it possible something could have occurred between crafting you and the execution of this order that may have greatly altered the summoner's outlook? Well, there was, of course, the violent wave of anti-summoner sentiment that swept through Alag. It claimed the lives of many of Master Sari's disciples. Following their deaths, he began spending much of his time cloistered within the laboratory.
Such an incident could certainly be responsible for changing a man. In principle, you were unaware of subsequent events once you fell into slumber, yes?
From what we've learned so far, it is safe to say that the foe we encountered is related to Sari's research in some way.
Ah.
And there are likely more clues buried in these records. I shall speak with Captain Wolf, and as to borrow the sharp minds of his summoner squad. It is a rather intimidating pile to tackle on our own.
Well, seeing as you have the transcripts, there's no need to travel far. You are welcome to make use of my tent and the reference materials on Alag found therein.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Oh, that would be an enormous help, thank you. Let's hold these books to the dig site, shall we?
Okay. I see the squads here and all reading.
Our summoner colleagues arrived with a swiftness after I relayed to them our request. It is well to see them recovered from their injuries. With everyone pitching in, we stand a good chance of finding something useful.
And did we?
Oh, here's the bugger I was looking for. There's a record of when the military finally got was sorry. It says here the summoner was found dead. Killed by someone else, it seems.
Ah, then we have proof of the original Sari's demise in the Third Astral Era. Now, there remains the question of who, or what, attacked us in this age. My coin is on one of those clone creations. Is there aught more to this story, Lieutenant?
Oh, it goes on to explain how the Imperial Army took over Sari's research, lauding his experiments as exceptionally dangerous, but ripe with potential applications. They shifted operations to an artificial island soon after and began practical testing. One cataclysmic accident later though, and that was the end of that.
Oh. Azizla, most likely?
The artificial island must be a reference to Seal Rock, the very site of our encounter with the present-day Sari.
Oh, okay, that works too.
During the battle, my creator simulacrum exhibited the ability to summon multiple Egi simultaneously, as well as manifest highly authentic facsimiles of flesh and blood entities. The basis for every one of these unorthodox techniques can be traced back to Master Sari's research into machine-enhanced summoning. I'd say we have enough evidence to support a working theory then. Namely, that the Alagan military was using a clone of the deceased Sari to perform hazardous experiments, tests which exploited the feasibility of aetherochemically boosted summoning magics. And when we landed on Seal Rock, we must have somehow awoken the remnants of those experiments.
That might have been me.
Mayhap we have solved the mystery of who the attacker was, but now I would know the place to where he fled. What refuge exists for such a being?
For what I can gather, the results of Sari's work were bundled off to some secret laboratory called the Aetherochemical Research Facility.
Ah, crap. See, I called Azizla was gonna show up here.
You know of this place, sir? Is it far?
Farther than I'd like to go.
Azizla! If that's where they were keeping Sari's research, then it's possible the clone may have headed there. Our squad will fly back to Seal Rock and make further investigations. The relics of the past may hold some hint we haven't yet considered. An excellent idea, thank you! We shall return to Fredonia for the time being.
Okay. I figured we'd go straight to Azizla. There's another nod there too, sneaking in at the last second. Trying to catch me off guard. So I guess we're headed off to Azizla after this quest, huh?
I've received an update from Captain Wolf regarding their investigations on Seal Rock. It would seem that certain of the Alagan relics have shown signs of recent activation. The mechanisms were too heavily damaged to offer more than the way of useful information, however. I fear we must brave this Azizla facility and search for Sari ourselves. Is that what he was hoping for when he said, I will be waiting?
Probably. It is possible. I did not think the detail important at the time, but the lock engaged by Master Sari's simulacrum was not of the strictest tier. Rather, the seal is one which fades upon the sealer's demise. Oh.
Then he was goading us into simply fighting and defeating him. Another challenge. Or was it simply a trap? I am not fond of rushing into the unknown. Guard yourself for the worst, Dekumon, and I will learn the present circumstances of the research facility.
Okay, another nod. Sneaking him in a lot of different places this time around. Alright, last up for the Stormblood quest line. An art for the living.
I've learned all there is to be learned about the research facility. The time has come to make our move. From what my sister and her colleagues have told me, the laboratories are housed within an extremely dangerous quadrant of Azizla. We'll not want to wander around inviting trouble, but rather plot the swiftest and safest route to our destination. Oh, there should be a terminal somewhere that can allow us to pinpoint the section where Sari's research is being stored. Once we arrive on Azizla, finding such a terminal will be our highest priority. I've informed Captain Wolf of our forthcoming expedition. He insisted that he and his summoner squad provide us with support. Let us make ready and meet them at Helix.
Otherwise known as the Azizla Aetherite. Perfect. Okay, welcome back here.
Azizla is even more fantastical than I imagined. Oh, but we mustn't let ourselves be distracted by the scenery. We should find out and search for a control panel of some description.
I mean, I'm just gonna fly. I can just fly right up to the ARF. That'll work. And we can use that to plan the simplest route to our objective, yes?
Aye, then we plunge ahead.
Oh, sorry, that's Justice Sabu. I almost didn't recognize the character name for a second.
Aye, then we plunge ahead swift and sure. I'm bringing into this bastard clone.
That is my intention. It is important to note, however, that we have yet to determine if our enemy is truly a clone or not. Even an artificial copy would appear as a living, breathing being. The man you fought on Seal Rock seemed almost otherworldly.
I'm inclined to agree with you, Yamitra. But no matter what he is, we need to slay him to lift Prince Seal. The job remains the same.
True enough. Then we should first focus on finding that terminal. Dekumon, if you would, place search around the base of the Pouring Triad statues.
Keep your guard up. If Sari knows what's coming, he may have prepared a welcome.
That would not surprise me. And another nod. No dialogue at all this time, just here, have another nod for good measure. The developers had way too much fun slipping every nod they could into this quest line. Ah, hello. That's not a duty calls, but I'll take it. Ooh, got some friends here. A couple tri-disasters will take care of you guys, no problem. Alright, now, where's that research? I predicted you would be the first to find me, unless a summoner would have been slain. He seems so serene.
Dekumon! Sari's clone. It's here!
A clone? Ah, you seek to explain my existence. An understandable theory, but I am far more than one of those clumsy creations. You had best abandon that flawed perception, lest it lead you down the path to failure. I shall await you inside, Potential. You will pass my test, your true final challenge, or you will die never knowing what I truly am. No, he's a summon himself.
Thor's teeth. He's gone again.
Did you see that, Dekumon? The way he vanished. It is akin to the dismissal of a summoned entity.
What, so you're saying he's some sort of Egi? One with wearing Sari's face? Shit, I thought we had the best glamours. But how can he look so solid and, well, live?
With the aid of a computational machine, it would be theoretically possible to reconstruct Ether into a near-perfect replica of Sari's corporeal form.
So he's a computer sim.
He was summoned using a machine? Correct! Master Sari's research developed mechanical substitutes for grimoires. In fact, the lieutenant is standing right in front of one.
Bit cumbersome to lug around, though.
What this say, eh? It looks a bit like them tomeless on Seal Rock, only they was much bigger. Gods, can the bugger pop up anywhere that's one of these devices?
Probably.
I think we can safely assume that this Sari is the product of enhanced summoning magic. But our answer leaves us with yet another question. If Sari is the Egi, then who's the summoner? Even if the grimoire is replaced by a machine, there must still exist the one who commands it.
We gotta find the master then. If we don't squash the summoner, the bastard will just bring Sari Egi back again and again and again and again and again.
Well, whomever the bastard may be, He or she must be concealed somewhere nearby. An entity will always be summoned within a certain distance of the summoner. Even machine-enhanced techniques cannot circumvent this basic principle. That our antagonist chose not to make an appearance on Seal Rock suggests a reluctance to expose oneself to direct harm. In this location, however, with so many computational devices near to hand, I expect the foe's art will be significantly boosted.
So the Egi will be even stronger than last time. All the more reason to take down this summoner quickly before we're swamped by etherical horrors.
Well, I brought a little device that should help. An ethereometer I borrowed from my sister Stola.
Wait a minute! All this time you were Ishtola's sister? Holy crap.
If I can detect the right currents, it should lead us straight to our hidden enemy.
Excellent, Yamitra. That may make all the difference. Right, let's be about this then. Summon a squad! Take the van and clear the way forward. We've been waiting for this chance to prove ourselves. You just focus on finding the summoner and we'll sweep aside all the dregs.
Alright. Also, every time, like, Prin's in a cutscene, I keep hearing this little flapping sound from him moving around, and it's honestly a little irritating.
Ready for round 2, Dekumon. The terminal has provided us with a direct route to the research storage chamber. We're going to rip through this facility and take Sari's clone apart.
It is an etherical entity, Captain Wolf, not a clone. And I must point out that your true objective is the summoner, rather than the servant.
Right, I knew that. As we planned then. Summon a squad front and center. Carve Dekumon a path through. Alright, Captain. Yamitra, you're in charge of finding whoever's pulling this imposter Sari's strings. Let's go.
Yes, please. So what or who is pulling the strings is the real question. And of course I'm gonna have to get through the summon first.
Wonderful. You've done well to make it this far.
That summoner has to be around here somewhere. Yamitra, use your gadget. I'll buy you some time. We came here to remove the seal you put on Principia. Do as we ask and this can all end peacefully.
I'm sorry, Captain, but I'm afraid I can't do that. To do so would run contrary to the purpose for which I was created. But surely by now you have come to realize my true nature. You are an Egi in the form of my creator, an existence made possible through the fusion of summoning magic and etherochemical technology. But while Master Sari was the last of the great summoners of Alag, you are not more than an elaborate imitation, and you are no match for the summoner who now stands before you. Very good, but your conjecture has missed the mark. What I am is a defense mechanism that is capable of self-enhancement in order to combat ever greater threats. Shall I phrase this in simple terms for you? In the event that I encounter a presence with greater potential than Sari, I am compelled to harness that potential through main force and compose its ether into a new guardian entity.
Oh, he is the computer.
What? You mean to kill Dekumon and make an Egi of the Warrior of Light?
Have we reached an understanding? A peaceful conclusion to this encounter was never forthcoming.
His reasoning has broken down.
Your deeds have saved countless lives and will continue to do so. How can one justify killing you, Master, when you embody the very principles for which summoning magic was invented?
Yamitra, any luck finding that damn summoner?
I just finished tracing the threads. The camouflage is impressive, but I'm still shocked that we missed something of that size. Our true enemy is up there!
It's an ADS node.
How observant of you. You have uncovered Master Summoner Sari's greatest masterpiece, an artificially sentient evocation matrix.
Uh-oh.
But the complexity of my design simply cannot be compared to the primitive principles used in Principia's construction.
He's making more.
Your defeat is inevitable.
That's a sinister picture right there.
Tough talk for an aging machine whose logic channels have obviously rusted with disuse. Master, why do you and your companions dispose of this unsightly and unseemly amalgamation of refuse?
Ooh. That's a tune. Okay, he's invincible until the little ones are dealt with, huh? Alright, problem solved. Start smoking these things, jeez. Whew, you guys are squishy. Look at that, you got nothing, man. Even with, oh, I got stone skin. Here comes more. That one's done. There's one more. And just in time for the good shit. Uh-oh. I don't like that mark on my head, sorry. Concerned, oh, it's a landmine. Exterminate, really? We're going Doctor Who now? Another landmine down. Okay, are we good now? You run out of dudes to whack me with? Oh, it's just mashing high voltage. Yeah, it's over. Whew. Stupid summoner node. Are we good now? Thank goodness. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Duty complete.
Oh, a stunning victory, Dekumon. We've won the day, but Captain Wolf wished to stay behind and conduct a thorough search. I told him it was still too dangerous to wander around alone, but...
But the captain is a stubborn old man. Not to worry though. If what should happen, we'll soon charge off to fight at his side.
Captain Wolf will call us if he needs us high. We should be celebrating here. This does not mean Prin's seal is now broken. Master's success is indeed something to be celebrated. I was not crafted to experience emotion, but I do feel a certain rustle of satisfaction in my pages.
Once you master them hard-minded mighty techniques, you'll be stronger than ever. Well, I think I'd rather learn by your example anyway, instead of from some musty scrolls written by some long-dead elegant summoner.
It is in the hopes of achieving just such an outcome that I awoke from my slumber. The art of summoning is for the living, as my creator was once so fond of declaring. Dekumon, Prin, let's say our farewells for the moment. Thank you for your aid, everyone. We could not have done this without you.
I must say, we have some interesting outfits in the Immortal Flames. Alright, back to Gridania with my ass. Alright, let's wrap this one up.
Welcome back, Dekumon. You were only meant to face 3 challenges, and we ended up chasing your prize into the heavens themselves. As expected, development which you handled with exceptional grace, Master. And now at long last, I can finally bequeath to you the highest secrets of summoning. Pray step forward.
Alright. If I remember correctly, this is Summon Bahamut. Thank you. I feel much better now. Damn, 2 knots right there in the last second. I mean, of course, we still have one more quest to go.
Oh, what a momentous occasion! The wisdom of the last of Alex Master Summoner is all yours. Ere you depart to explore your newfound powers, however, Captain Wolf has a report for us. It should explain much of what occurred on Azizlar.
Alright, well, I wanted to be sure that that machine was truly undone, and after poking around inside it, I discovered a number of soul crystals. According to Principal, they belong to Sari's disciples.
Captain also unearthed the tombstone containing undoctored records of that age. It would seem that following the murder of his students, Sari became increasingly bitter. He began to doubt that the future could be safely entrusted to the capricious whims of mortals. Instead, he explored other methods by which new generations might be safeguarded from the threat of primals and committed himself to etherochemical research. As you may have surmised, the evocation matrix was the end result of Master Sari's toil. Drawing on its embedded soul crystals and unrivaled computational power, this terrible invention was capable of manifesting a veritable host of ethereal avatars.
Once he was satisfied with his work, Sari commanded the machine to act as civilization's mightiest guardian. And then he killed himself. His ethereal essence was absorbed and a formidable Egi was added to his invention's arsenal. So, now you know the truth of it.
What a price to pay to ensure that the art of summoning survived unto the morrow. After failing to protect his disciples, I wonder if he meant to preserve their soul crystals in their stead.
Even if that were his intention, he chose the wrong way to achieve it. Prin here is the embodiment of his hopeful ideas of Sari's younger self. The murderous machine of his later years is the product of frustration and anger and grief. True enough.
But what shall we do with the crystals? We cannot risk them falling into the hands of another villain like Tristan.
Might as well give them to the flames.
Oh, if you wish, I could swallow the crystals and hold them safe until another era has need of them. My enchantments would ensure that they pass onto only the hands of the worthy.
Swallow? You mean to eat them?
Fear not, Captain, I have no digestive tract of which to speak. And now that I have instructed Master in the wisdom of Alag, this task shall be the last I perform ere I return to slumber. Wait, so this is goodbye? Correct. Or mayhap more appropriately, good night. As a familiar, I was not expelled to experience loneliness. I was, however, written with the knowledge that it is best not to draw out a parting of ways with needless sedimentary.
No tears for you then, eh, Prin?
Summoning magic was created to combat the threat of the primals. The ideal world is one in which I never need again awaken. Wield the art well, Master.
Aww.
He's back asleep.
Off to Dreamland, just like that. I suppose Prin's purpose is served, and that's the same as happiness to a familiar. Speaking of serving one purpose, I think it's time I took my leave.
Aye, the gods of the morrow beckon to us all. Let us do what we may, so that Prin might rest peacefully for many years to come.
That sounds nice. Unfortunately, we all know too well how peaceful this era is. Alright, lay it on me. You have conquered the Principal's challenges and earned the lost wisdom of Alag to summon Bahamut. And that's that. All there is now to do is the 1 level 80 quest that I never bothered to do on any of these quest lines because they never give me anything interesting. To be second best.
Oh, Dekumon! I was just about to contact the Science to ask after my sister, and here you are to provide a report in person. What news?
Alright. This is Shadowbringer, so your sister's technically in a coma.
The first? What are the 13 reflections, you mean? I thought my field of expertise a complicated one, but I struggled to comprehend the enormity of your tale. Still, Shola seems to be faring well enough, and for that I am grateful. Oh, yes, before I forget, I actually had a message to pass on to you. Do you recall Summoner Jasamasu? Formerly of the Company of Heroes, and current member of the Immortal Flames Summoner Squad. He commands both an Ifrit and Titan Egi, and is likely one of the more seasoned, and, well, I'm sure you remember. He's in Credonia on leave as it happens, and asked me to direct you to the Garlean Canopy should you stop by for one of your unpredictable visits. I believe he was to consult you on some private matter. 'Twould be kind of you to lend him an ear if you've a moment or two to spare.
Alright. Crap. Ah, there you are. And for the sake of my voice, I'm changing yours, sir.
Bloody hells! I was just thinking about you, and there you are.
Your major had a word on me behalf, I take it?
Well, let's not stand on ceremony.
Look, I gave him the gravelly voice because I thought he was going to be a little joke one-off character for just the one quest. I didn't expect you to suddenly be the main for these quest lines.
I'll not mince words with you. I need some advice concerning summoners in Mortal Kombat. They tell me you have a special nature what prevents primals from enthralling your mind. So what I want to know is, what you thinking on being sent out to the front lines every time a beast tribe scrapes together a pile of crystals?
Oof. That's just the way of things. I'm happy to be able to help, man. It sucks, though, I'll be honest.
So you just see it as your rightful place. Folks need your help, and you've been blessed with the means to help them. Well, that's one way of looking at it. Me, I'm in it for the coin. Have been ever since I sold my spells with a company of heroes. Most of the soldiers I march with ain't much different. We're happy to put our lives on the line as long as there's a purse waiting for us at the end of the day. The pair were joined in on our last skirmish, though. Now there's a whole nother story. You've heard of Arenvold and Fordola, aye?
Oh.
What the heck are they doing there? Huh. Oh, the lad's one of the Scions, same as you. No mystery there. As for the lass, oh, she's a bit more complicated. Former officer in the Imperial Army, captured by the Resistance and steps away from the noose. Fighting for Alamigo as a conscript now, which is the only reason she's still breathing, you know. Barely more than sprouts to both of them, and they was deployed with the Flames to assist with down in Ifrit. From what I hear, they share your resistance to primal influence, and that's why. That's the whole reason they had the dubious honor standing in the thick of the Flames. Meanwhile, me and my fellow summoners were cowering in the shadows, sending out our Egis to support these youngsters, while it's seen less than 40 summers between the pair of them. Can't say I cared much for the experience, though. It bothered me to think they was being made to fight a battle which wasn't theirs, just because of who they were. Do you think you could talk to them for me? Ask how they feel about the whole thing. You're about the only person I could turn to. God dang, to see Arenvold and Fordola as this quest line. And Ashtola's sister, that's wild. This one's involved. Yeah, my thanks. You'll find Arenvold in Roger's Reach, and he'll know where to find Fordola. I'll tell him to meet you by the Aetheryte. That's convenient. Where is he? God dang, I don't remember Arenvold's voice at all. You had kind of like a boyish voice, I remember. Dekumon, I heard you had returned from Jasamasu. What can I do for a Honored Champion? I'm here to talk to you and Fordola, it seems. Jajasamu said that. We joined him against Ifrit, but I thought him more annoyed by our presence than concerned for our well-being. Why don't I save you some time and introduce Fordola in this conversation? We can visit her in a cell over in the city. Oh joy. Something tells me she'll be thrilled to see me again. Well, she's still working hard. Yeah. Fair evening to you, Fordola. You again? And I see you brought company. What is it now? Still got that hard edge, girl. My thoughts on fighting primals? Is that why you came all the way here to ask me about? I fight because I like the idea that I can help others. The feeling that my presence is needed. Not hard to explain considering how my own mother decided she didn't want me around. And then there was that nightmare at the Wakened Sands. Abba and Orly gave their lives to save mine, and I strive to be the sort of man whose life was worth saving. How very honorable, but no such lofty ideals rule my actions. My own will doesn't even come into it. Fighting was part of the deal when they conscripted me with the other convicts. I follow orders, and I get to live. And if I died on the battlefield, well, no one would shed a tear. Oh, don't say that. You think I'd be glad to see you killed?
Just remember that this is pre-Endwalker Shadowbringer stuff.
You'd be about the only person who wasn't. And what about you, hero? You're usually the first one they throw into the Dragon's Maw. Let's hear what battles you've been made to fight.
Lady, you have no idea the battles I have been fighting.
I summoned to a world drowned in light. I joined the struggles of a man seeking to save a companion.
Yeah. As much as they always want you to talk about the individual, like, role quest, I always think talking about the first in general is more interesting.
You journey to another star to bring back the darkness? That sounds ridiculous. I'm not sure if you're the realm's greatest champion or the realm's greatest liar. I believe you, Dekumon, and want to follow in the path that you walk. Even if I could never hope to carry the same burdens, I can at least work towards having a sturdier back. Speaking of burdens, you know a little something about that, don't you, Fodola? You weren't fighting for yourself after all, but for your comrades. We're not so
Uh-oh. That looks like a sore spot for Fodola.
Don't pretend my gift is anything like yours. I wanted it, asked for it even, but got more burden than I bargained for. How many souls were sacrificed for that research? No, the power they gave me was tainted from the beginning. But if I can do some good with it, then maybe they didn't die for naught. Satisfied? Then leave me be. I've got training to do. Back to the push-ups.
Well, we tried. At least we got something. Oof. Man, you gotta feel bad for Fodola. Especially after what we learned about her later on. If you're waiting for the lad in civil armor, he should be out here soon. That seemed rather pointless to make me have to talk to someone, but sure.
She still snarls like a chained dog. Amidst all the growling, though, she gave us a glimpse of her true self. I don't know if that I'll know when to lend a shoulder, even if she wouldn't let me see her suffering. That don't be getting the wrong idea in there. Same age, same homeland. I can't help but care a little about what happens to her. Anyway, I have my own training to think of. Give my regards to some of the Jajasamu. God, I just remembered what actually happened to him. Oof. Alright, I'm back. You been to see them two youngsters then?
Yeah, I have.
Huh. So that's the way of it then. Well, I shouldn't be surprised considering the example they've been given to follow. And now I know how they're approaching these fights. I can adjust my own tactics accordingly. One's passionate and the other's reckless, so they both need some watchful support. I'll do what I can to stand in for you, though I doubt I'll ever replace you. Why, they'll call me the second best summoner in Eorzea. How's that for humble? Right, I think it's past time I was on my way. Give my best to your mitra, Dekumon, and thanks for humoring me request.
No problem, man. Thank you for letting me change your voice.
What, you think I had a say in it?
Hey, Mitra. Time to finish this one up.
Oh, everything well with the lieutenant, I trust?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I won't pry into the details, but I'm glad to see that you're looking so content. To master summoning is an arduous journey, yet I imagine the going is made far smoother with a mentor such as you. I'm somewhat envious of your younger colleagues. And if I'm to mirror their progress, I must not allow my own scholarly research to fall by the wayside. Good day to you, Dekumon.
And with that, my friends, the summoner questline is done. We're gonna bank these nods, reset the personal counter, and I'll see you after patch 7.3's all in the history books. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a like and favorite, and subscribe to join me for more Eorzea job listings. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.